Today, I'll give you 7 high-income skills that can transform you into a money-making machine. Also, I will share a framework on how to learn and utilize these skills, as well as some of life hacks that can make all the difference. Let's begin. If you expect me to say that you need to learn video editing, web design, programming, or AI prompt engineering, that's not going to happen. I'm not gonna feed you with this nonsense. Instead, I would rather shed some light to high-income skills that no one really talks about, but every successful person that I've personally met using them into their daily routine. The issue with these standard skills that many YouTubers promote is their complexity and limitations. To master programming, for example, you'd need to invest at least a year of full-time education process, then from 2 to 5 years of coding practice. After this, you might secure a 100k annual income. But there is a risk. The programming language you've mastered might become useless, requiring you to start from scratch with a new one. As time ticks away, a new generation of eager learners will come up, potentially outplaying you in this domain. Entering such a competitive race might not be in your best interest. Your objective should be to acquire skills that gives you an advantage over 99% of people, skills that will remain with you throughout your life. That's why I've taken my 10 years of experience running multiple businesses, combined it with the knowledge of my millionaire clients, and added that simple magic formula that every successful entrepreneur, employee, or YouTuber uses in their daily routine. I want to start with the most fundamental skill you need to learn: organizing. This was a skill that I learned way back in 2009-2010. At the time, I didn't realize its monetary potential because no one told me that. I remember a day when I saw an airsoft game on TV. Men were dressed in military uniforms, playing a game similar to paintball, but with realistic replicas of guns that fired plastic bullets. I was so excited that I suggested to all my university friends that we should try airsoft. However, each of them declined my offer. I felt like they betrayed me. So I thought, forget them, I will go there alone. That turned out to be one of the best decisions I've ever made. It opened a door for me to an airsoft games, experience its magic, and discover endless opportunities how to organize airsoft games for profit. This journey became my first business. As a student, it not only helps me improve my organized skills, but also helped me to earn a few $1,000s per month. And if you want to make money, learn how to organize different processes. Be proactive, and money will follow. By organizing processes, you're adding value for your audience, and you can easily charge some dollar for that value. It's really easy to learn and profitable skill. By the way, join me on my Telegram channel where I share tons of insights about money-making things, AI, business, and productivity. Link in the description below. This next skill can help you avoid being broke. Yes, you heard me right. Avoid being broke. Because if you aim to become wealthy, you need to master the system that boosts your income. Simultaneously, you must minimize your chances of failure as much as possible. So the skill you need to acquire is smart transitioning. What does this mean? When I was running my airsoft business, Russia invaded Ukraine back in 2014. I was quite stressed about the situation, and the number of clients paying me decreased significantly. The entire market in Ukraine suffered, causing both profits and income go down. So I started to think how I might shift from a domestic market to a global one. The IT business emerged as a viable idea. I found out successful case studies and insights into how others run their IT ventures, and then adopted the copy, improve, paste, repeat methodology. Essentially, I was juggling 2 businesses at once. Yes, it was challenging. IT became my side hustle, while airsoft remained my primary focus. However, 6 months later, once the IT business began generating a substantial income similar to what I have from Airsoft business, I choose to step away from my Airsoft venture. So if you're thinking about following the similar approach and maybe even thinking of launching a business tomorrow, do not quit your current job. Do your new venture as a side project or a secondary job. Once the profits from your new business match or surpass those from your current job, then you can make a full transition to a new routine. This strategy applies to various activities. If you're thinking about quitting your job, first secure several job offers with salaries higher than your current pay, and then take action. But when it comes to making money, and by that I mean earning 6 figures or more, you must master the straightforward copy, improve, paste and repeat high-income skill framework, complemented by 2 straightforward sub-skills. If you're planning to earn significant money, you must master the ability to initiate any project fast, measure the outcomes, implement changes, and repeat the process. Basically, it's a very simple framework that you can utilize. First, you have to identify what you want to do. Let's say you want to develop a landing page to sell a product or service, or you're considering starting a YouTube channel. First, pinpoint both your direct and indirect competitors. Grab the inspiration from them, understand user flow, and analyze their sales and marketing strategies. This is called visual experience subskill, allowing you to quickly design solution by leveraging best practices from various sources. This research stage is the copy phase of the strategy. There's no need to reinvent the wheel. After that, combine your insights, expertise, and the information you've gathered to produce something new and powerful. But keep in mind, it should not be perfect. It's not your goal. Then introduce your product to the market and repeat this framework if needed. I remember back in the day I created a simple landing page to promote my software development services. And guess what I did? Exactly that. I combined my experience with best practices from both my direct and indirect competitors and run a Google Ads campaign. Within a month, I secured a client who brought me $86,000. The thing is, you always have to act quickly using this framework when it comes to money making. And this is where the juice comes in. Every successful entrepreneur I've spoken to use a simple micro skill: swift action. When they spot an opportunity, they immediately send a message to a colleague or a friend about implementation. They do not wait, they act immediately. This mindset brings us to a methodology that you can incorporate into your daily routine. It's called MVP, Minimum Viable Product, a concept from the software development world. However, we will adopt it to create the MVL methodology, Minimum Viable Learning. This means you should focus on learning only those skills that gives you immediate results, boosting your income and satisfaction, which turns into a fuel that drives your motivation to progress more and learn more advanced skills and get greater outcomes. Look, I'm talking about a baby steps approach, but mastering this simple MVP and MVL methodology, you would be able to outplay anyone. Shoot me a message in comments which skill help you generate more money. But wait a minute, you're here to learn skills that will help you earn cash tomorrow, right? This is where the power of negotiation as a component of sales and marketing comes into play. Many of my most significant successes have come from negotiating with my clients, developers, and others. I understand how tough these conversations could be. I feel your pain. I personally hate discussing salary, compensation rates, or budget increases with my clients, who in many respects act as my bosses. I remember a few years ago I found myself in a situation where I needed to quickly boost company profits. One action I took was to compile a list of my clients. I then identified those with whom I could discuss a rate increase, and prepared a list of reasons to support my new offer. My goal was to increase profits by 20%, but I was aware of the ask for more, settle for less strategy. So I pitched a 25% rate increase and began my conversation with clients. To be honest, this was one of the most stressful experiences of my life. The day after those discussions, I spent the entire day sleeping in a chair, exhausted from the stress and intensity of the conversations. But what was the income? Within a week, every client I had spoken to agreed to a 20% rate increase. Not the 25 I had proposed, but 20%, which was my original goal, bringing in an additional $20,000 per month in a single day is an incredible feeling. You can achieve the same in your job. Approach your boss to discuss your salary, prepare solid arguments, and perhaps even secure a few new offers from other companies as leverage. What's the worst that could happen? Your boss has two choices. Either they'll agree to an increase or they won't. You won't be fired for simply asking. So, negotiation as a high-income skill can help you earn money immediately. It's essential to master this skill through real-world practice. I understand it's often challenging and stressful, but the end results are always impressive and assist to your growth. The devil's in the details. You do not have to learn the whole sales and marketing routine. You just have to utilize high-income skills that are proven and gives you immediate results with the right framework. So the next high-income skill you have to master is building your own audience. In life, you can take two types of actions: tactical and strategic. Tactical actions leads to immediate, smaller victories like changing your job, running Google Ads, or creating landing pages and so on. However, the true magic happens when you shift your focus to strategic actions. While this might not give you an immediate result, it will set you on the path to long-term success, potentially even making you a millionaire. To illustrate, a few years ago, Upwork was my primary source of lead generation, a decent platform providing leads for businesses. However, I recognized the vulnerability. If I stopped investing in Upwork lead generation, my business could die in one day. So what did I do? I pivoted to a YouTube channel. I began producing educational content for my audience on topics like how to create an app like Uber, Tinder, and so on. For the first 1.5 years, I saw no significant results. However, after that, it began to grow rapidly without any active involvement from me. Now, I have such big stream of new leads that I can choose with whom I will work with, and I can increase my rates. As a result, I've doubled my income. This brings us to a straightforward action you should take. Engage on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or start an SEO-optimized blog, essentially where you can educate your audience. Over time, this crucial daily skill will help you establish a dedicated fan base, leading to increased profits. Moreover, you can use your audience if you decide to start your new business or run an info marketing course. I want to ask you a question. Do you know how these kids 15, 18 or 20 years old become millionaires? You're right. They use the skill of new technological advantage. Do you remember how many Instagram celebrities been come up after the Instagram launch? And then TikTok, and then crypto, IPO, ICO, token sales, now it's airdrops and so on. Guess who is the king right now? Yep, you're right, it's an AI. If you want to be rich, you must learn how to utilize AI properly. I'm not gonna talk about ChatGPT and its prompting, it's nonsense. I'm talking about tools like LangChain, Hugging Face, LlamaHub, and so on. Does that ring a bell? It should. Because one of the best skills you can utilize and outplay anyone in the market, it's the utilization of cutting-edge technologies on time. My clients are using AI tools right now. I'm using tons of AI tools, and together with my team, I'm developing new AI tools to simplify people's lives and disrupt the market. You too can harness the power of AI and LangChain to create simple chatbots that you can sell to your clients for $3,000 or $5,000 per bot. You do not need programming knowledge for this. Leverage the power of new technologies and master them before it's too late and before everyone else catches on. How? Simply use the MVP MVL methodology. Copy, improve, launch, test, act fast, get results, and repeat. Look, if this video gets 500 likes, I'll create a new video about how to establish a fully AI automated agency in no time without any software development skills that can generate significant profits for you. And the king of all high income skills is money making actions. Look, 80% of your job consists of things that don't have any significant effect on your life or income. Only money-making actions truly make a difference. Picture this. When my goal was to immediately increase profits, I approached my existing clients and asked them for a rate increase. Then I inquired if they might need an additional developer or more services. This is called upselling. After that, I requested references, which brought me more leads and clients within a few months. Your focus should be only on the money-making actions. Ask yourself a simple question: will this action lead to an increase in my profits tomorrow? Will this new logo help me get a new client? What about this new design on my website? How about a Zoom meeting with my client or boss regarding a salary raise? Thus, you see how vital it is to concentrate your attention and effort on tasks that supports you to do money-making actions. Life hack. If you're struggling with the decision-making process and need advice regarding money-making actions, do what every wealthy and successful person does. Organize your board of directors, comprised of already successful individuals. Seek their advice on your queries and then make a right decision. Anyway, if you want to take these money-making actions today, learn about AI utilization from this video. See you!